Hi, I'm Malini Manocha and I am an engineering manager at Neighbors Drilling. So today we're going to be discussing integrating Scrum with DevOps in a SCADA environment. Now, most of you here are very familiar with Scrum, and what makes it really challenging for this particular topic is it's a SCADA environment. So if you have background in oil and gas or similar such environment, then you will realize that a SCADA system consists of computers and a whole bunch of network data communication, and it also includes a graphical interface, and all of these communicate with a programmable logic controller at one end, and it also communicates with a whole bunch of drives or PID controllers. And so now all these are controlled by something called a control system software, which is also just like, you manage it just like any other software, which is basically written in ladder logic. Now let's break this out further. So now Scrum with DevOps. Now let's look at that as two separate entities. Now for guys who are not familiar with DevOps, DevOps is primarily a process of deployment of code, but basically it looks at a very new perspective of deploying code or software releases to ensure that the customer receives the software as soon as a change is done. So it believes in the methodologies of a continuous integration and a continuous deployment, and therefore when a software is released by the development team that probably has gone through an agile Scrum process, there is a process that happens in the back end when you're not in an enterprise environment. Now let's assume, so let's look at a general Scrum process. So a whole bunch of requirements come in. They are listed in a product backlog, and then by the product line manager and the Scrum master together. Now the developers jump on this product backlogs and they execute it within a certain time period to have a release. And of course, this release goes through multiple layers of QC testing before it says it's a done state and it's ready for production. Now, what happens in DevOps? DevOps believes in the concept of continuous integration and a continuous deployment, which means once the code is released, it needs to be deployed to the customer immediately. So the customer really sees that there's a progress that's continuously be made, especially to have a high level of customer satisfaction. It also believes a lot in automation testing. So for example, today Scrum, you can probably go through a layer of manual testing when you're doing through QC, but if you really believe in automation testing, you can really speed up your process. You can reduce your time cycle significantly. So so this is a true life, this is something I have lived for the last 4 years. So in 2014, 2014-15, I became a Scrum Master. The whole organization became very agile proficient. We started releasing software in 2015 in an agile methodology. But the hurdles that once the software was released and to be released to production was always an issue that was what I was struggling with. And then the concept of DevOps also emerged or took a huge front line sometime in 2015. And so what I did was I took the Scrum concepts, I'm a certified Scrum Master, and I took the DevOps concept, combined them together, and I'm here in oil and gas, so my use case was primarily a SCADA environment. And so this particular session is about integrating Scrum with DevOps in a SCADA environment. Of course, the principles of Scrum with DevOps can also be used in a non-SCADA environment. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you.